Hey UK Bills Mafia, this is Christian Wade of your Buffalo Bills. This is the Red, White and Buffalo Blues, a UK Bills podcast with your hosts, Matt and Alex. Let's go Buffalo! Woo!
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Red, White and Buffalo Blues, a UK Bills podcast. It's a UK Bills podcast, Bills news with a UK twist. I am your host, Matt, and as you can see, no Alex. So it's a solo podcast from me as we review the 3-0 Bills. Now, Alex would have loved to be here, but I gathered from what his message was that he's actually driving to New York from Buffalo to actually get the flight back home. So he'll be with us for the preview of the Raiders game. But guys, how many of your heartbeats are still beating fast? How many rolls of toilet roll have you gone through? Forget coronavirus and stocking up on two loo rolls for that. You need to stock up on loo rolls for Bills games because we do not make this easy. But we are now 3-0, lead of the AFC East. Difficult game potentially coming up against the Raiders, but we know anything can happen. First of all, I want to give a shout out to Mark Delivers Edge, who actually won the competition for the goodie bag. We actually managed to hit 100 subscribers on YouTube. Keep subscribing, keep hitting the button, the follow button, the subscribe button. But Mark, congratulations. Alex will be in touch with you to arrange delivery, and well done. So let's get into it. The good, the bad, and the fan questions. So we'll start with the good first. Now, Devin Singletary. With Zach Moss in there, people thought, are they going to share the load a little bit more? Is Singletary going to concede more to Moss? Moss is actually known as a good pass protector, has had him work in the red zone. But this game, even though he only had 13 carries for 71 yards, 5.5 yard per rush, really helped Bills get into a manageable situations and manageable field positions when they weren't giving away penalties. Now, you can see how much, when he's got the ball, how much of a playmaker he can be. Make guys miss on a dime. He actually sticks that foot in, changes direction straight. He can even catch the ball in the outfield. I mean, I said a hot take that he would be a 100-yard rusher. He was actually 100 yards all over. So receiving and rushing with the 50 yards he actually gained through the air. But it shows that we have that two-headed monster. We've got Singletary who do that. We've got Moss who can power through and even has his own runs himself. So more headaches for that defensive coordinator. Plus, you got the run play option, which wasn't really used much in the game. But adding that to what Singletary can do, what we know Josh Allen can do when he actually runs, and you really, really, really got a making of a very unique offense, a really fast offense that allows teams to have to think about not just Josh, not just Stefan Diggs, also not Tyler Croft, but Devin Singletary as well, Zach Moss as well. So it's looking good, and we are one of the top guys, top rush defense or top offenses. I think before the game, we were the only team that had a top 5 defense and top 5 of offense. So we know that we've got it in us, and we've got the coaching facilities and coaching philosophy in place to actually get that, actually make it. But it's not just all about that. I mean, we have wide receivers. We have Diggs. who went off on one last week, 150 yards. John Brown, Cole Beasley. You can't keep him down. But along with Singletary, we saw the emergence of Tyler Croft. Now, yes, he's the number 2 behind Dawson Knox. Maybe after this game, he should be number 1 and Dawson Knox should sit. But it's another option, and really, especially in the red zone, we really showed the Rams what they can do. The Rams love tight end play. They've got Higbee, who, to be honest, I would have thought they actually had him a lot more involved. But it seems that the Milano return really, stagnated his progress. So they weren't able to get him as much as possible. But then they had Gerald Everett. So you take one, you got another one on there. But in the red zone, again, it's more headache, more options. The ball must be in that booth every single time they get to a red zone with his hands going. Mr. Burns like, excellent. Where he can have Devin running, he can have Josh running, Zach running. The defense have got to keep an eye on those 3. They've got to keep an eye on Knox, Croft, Diggs, Brown, Beasley, all those guys. You've got so many options. And this is what this offense is all about. Excitement, unpredictability. You do not know who is actually going to be there, who's actually going to get their number called and be the one responsible for adding 6 points onto the score. But then again, we talked about tight ends. You can't rule out the wide receivers. I mean, if you haven't got Diggs, if Diggs isn't your starring player, he's having an off day or he's being marked out by Ramsey, you've got John Brown, who can do pretty much exactly the same thing. Okay, yes, he went out with an injury. Hopefully it's nothing serious. But then you had Cole Beasley step up. Cole Beasley with that 3rd and 22 catch from Josh Allen in the last fourth quarter to give us that first down and to keep the momentum going. I mean, you've got 3 guys there who are top of their game, one and probably are the best wide receiver trio in the NFL at the moment. Please tweet me if I'm wrong, because I'm actually happy to hold my hands up and say that I'm actually wrong with that. But it's not just that. Gabriel Davis, this guy, 4th round pick from the University of Central Florida, he's come in, had a great training camp, had a slight involvement against the Jets, had that amazing touchdown catch against the Dolphins, really lit it up this game against the Rams. Was it 4 yards, 81, four receptions, 81 yards? That first half was just all him. He is the reason and why I chose him in our preview shows, our bright season preview shows, that he would be my rookie of the year for the Bills. I mean, the guy, he's got the speed, he's got the strength, he's got the knowledge. And when you've got Diggs, Brown, Beasley in front of you and those guys with experience to learn, it's all good. And maybe this year or next year, when either Brown or Beasley go, if they do, hopefully we have enough cap space to extend them. But you've got Gabe Davis actually sitting there ready to go, ready to take on that mantle. And he will have more of an impact than people would actually think in the coming games. So if you're like me, get him in your fantasy team. Okay, I've got him on the bench, but I'm saving him when he's going to have that breakout game. It's coming. It's going to be a hot take that he's actually going to have a breakout game sometime this season. Can I tell you when? Possibly not at the moment, but he will have that game and he will be, as I said in preseason, the Bills rookie of the year. But what else is good news, and what else can we end with before we go into the bad side of the game, when without talking about Josh Allen, number 17? National attention should be on him. The media need to be praising him. You see on Twitter all these posts about the Josh Allen apology form. I think everyone needs to sign him. Well, apart from PFF, but what do they know? They know bloody nothing. It does seem, especially when it comes to the Bills. But this is what we love about Josh. He is energetic. He's electric. He's dynamic. He's enthusiastic. He is pumped up all game. But then you still have times where you're ripping your hair out, saying, "Why have you thrown that ball away? Why have you run when you should have just passed it?" And you can get frustrating, but it doesn't matter. Everyone now should know to believe in Josh Allen. I mean, Josh Allen, was he 1,079 yards or something? 10 touchdowns, 1 interception. Did anyone see an interception in that game? Not me, but it's on the stat sheet, so unfortunately that. But he's got a passer rating of over 100. I mean, his last 14 games, he's had 33 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, passer rating of 100.2 in the last 14 games. He went 2 years without a 300-yard game. He's got 3 in a row, including a 400 game. He's already matched his total of touchdowns in 2020 that he did in his rookie year. It's all up from here, and everyone needs to recognize that Josh, he has got to be in the conversation for MVP at the end of the season. Can he actually keep it going? We never know. We know he will. He should be in that. But it's again a few other things on there. As I say, when he had the chance to throw the ball away, but took the sacks instead. But at the end of the day, he is the crunch quarterback. He is fourth quarter Josh Allen. No matter what the score is, that fourth quarter, Josh just wants to prove everyone wrong, that he can still go for the whole game, which is what makes him such a great character. I mean, 311 yards, 5 total touchdowns. To me, I don't care if he gets sacked a few times. You know he can get that. He can get that back. So, Josh, you've got my seal of approval right here. I think you've got everyone in the Bills Mafia seal of approval. Hopefully, you get the respect you get from everyone else. I mean, Good Morning Football, they love him. They rave about him. So at least you've got some people on your side. But where there's good, there is also bad. And let's just start with 29 unanswered points. Now, is that a third quarter jinx where they can't come out in the third quarter and play? Is it a case that offense, the Rams offense, is quite explosive and actually good with Cup, with Woods, in this instance with Henderson and the tight ends? Are Milano and Edmonds still working their way back in, and the longer the Rams stayed on the offense, the more and more they tired? Who knows? But you can always say that the consolation out of that is that the Rams love that spring game, especially to Woods. And there was very little success for the Rams in that. I mean, I don't know. You just say to them, they blew that up. They blew that up, and they had to find other ways to beat, which they did with end rounds to Woods. But it's the adjustments. The adjustments really kill the Bills' defense. They can dominate the first two quarters. Third quarter, the opposition change their adjustments, make their adjustments. Defensive alignment, offensive alignments. It seems like the defense just set in that it's not broken, don't fix it, or don't break it. But it broke a couple of times, so they should have actually fixed it. But the only other thing other than that, you've got to say the interception. I mean, NFL officiating, sometimes you praise them. Most of the time, you're just thinking, there's a bit of rope, there's a chair, there's a hook. Not insinuating anything like that. That's a bit wrong of me, but that's how most people feel. I mean, it's a catch. It's a catch. It's a Bills ball. Okay, we would move back. We'd probably have had to redo it with the push off from Croft, but he caught it. He secured it to the ground. That's a completed catch, and it was touched on the way down. How the refs could actually see that the Rams defensive back actually could get this, could actually rip the ball and take the ball without clear proof. How they can call it an interception, I don't know. Every 50-50 ball, simultaneous catching, has always sided with the offense. What is it? The Rams are losing? Oh, shoot. Hey, guys. The Rams are losing 28-3. Let's reverse this. Let's change the momentum here. Seriously, really? There's just no words for it. But conspiracy theories. Inception, no inception. Bills fans will say it's no inception. Rams fans say it's an inception. It's swings and roundabouts on that one. To be honest, I don't think there's really much else bad, really, you could say about the game. Maybe it's Josh actually right at the end of the fourth quarter, actually holding on to the ball too long, taking the sacks, that face mask penalty against him, the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against him. They were not worth it. They should not have even come on there. That was a drive staller. I think as much as we all praise him, and we have, I think there's still games where he needs to get that mental reps going and get everything sorted that allows him to eradicate all this. But we love him. We love the whole Bills team. Let's just take it. We're 3-0 going into Las Vegas, going against the Raiders, who are struggling a little bit. We could be 4-0 by the end of next week. It's a late game. Well, 9:25 though here in the UK, but it's a chance for us to go 4-0 and actually build up momentum when you know you've got the Chiefs and the Titans in a way the next two games over. So you get that good opening start and sets you up well for the season. So let's move on. We've done the good. We've done the bad. Now, here is your questions. Unfortunately, I don't have Alex here to ask him and even answer him, but all on me this one. So the first one, I saw two people actually mentioned this. It was Stephen on Twitter and Tom Tyrrell also on Twitter. Go 3 great wins, a third quarter slump, letting teams back in. What can we do to improve this? Answers on a postcard. That's all I can say for that. I mean, it's the adjustments. I mean, they're happy if they're dominating the first part. They don't want to really make any adjustments. But there comes a time that, like in this game, where the Rams actually came back, and where the Dolphins came back, where even the Jets came back, and this is the Jets that Sam Darnold threw 2 interceptions, got sacked for a safety. I mean, come on. what point do you have to see that when teams are coming back that you need to make that adjustment, whether it sends an extra bit of pressure, where is it backing off into the zone, man coverage, anything like that. Just adapt. I mean, the screen game, we blew it up, but you had Woods on the end around. Now, to be honest, that's what got, and even Cup on a run around, that's what got the Rams two of their touchdowns. It's all about adjustment. I feel if McDermott and Fraser can do that at halftime and actually make that adjustment during the game when they know what's happening, then hopefully this will break it. This will break the ice and break the third quarter stigma that we have. Charlie on Twitter, he also goes, how much do you think we're missing Star? Run defense seems a bit poor this year. Yes, we kind of miss him. He was a really good run stuffer. Harry Phillips come back off of ACL. He's been rotated in and out quite a bit. He is the next best run stopper on the team. I think with him, it's a case of keep giving him those minor reps. I think we may have to settle for the run defense to be slow a little bit more, be a bit poor for a few more games until Harry gets up to running, because he is a decent run stopper and he will command teams. I think it's not just the run defense itself and the D line. You've got to also look at how they actually shed the blocks and how the Rams offense, were actually coming in and making those key blocks on Edmonds and on Milano. They do that, they sprung them. But it's something that, yes, they're going to need to look at. Hopefully Star will be back next year and we can actually have that run defense. But as long as that defensive backs and the secondary actually keep tight coverage, and we get coverage sacks or coverage pressure, it's all good. It's all good. We're quite happy with that. Josh Rosales on Twitter, will the Bills ever lose? Well, I'm hoping this year, no. I'm hoping that we go 16-0. But I feel if we are going to lose one game in the next stretch, you're potentially looking at the Chiefs. I think go beat Raiders, beat Titans. Chiefs will probably be our first defeat. How can you not say that there's going to be a hard game? Hopefully McDermott and Frazier will be watching the Baltimore Chiefs game tonight and actually getting that and getting all that information and that gameplay to stop Mahomes and that electric offense. Got two questions now from Kathleen on Twitter. Will people finally agree that number 17 is the real deal? And do you think that pass interference call was a ref's way of making up for the interception? I've said it in the goods. Media and everyone needs to know that Josh Allen is the real deal. He may still have those mechanical flaws. He still may have those mental handicaps, mental reps that need working on. But he is the guy that can actually take us forward. I mean, just look at what he's done. Look what he's done last year. He's worked in the off-season hard. We put more weapons around him. He's actually commanding that offense. He is actually dictating. He's taking plays in his own hands. I think he is the real deal, and more fans of other teams and media should be filling in that Josh Allen apology form. And do you think the PI call was a way of making up for the interception call? Yes and no. I mean, yes, it's controversial. Yes, it did make up for the call. But if you look at it, there was contact more than 5 yards from the line of scrimmage on Davis, and he only really released him when the ball was like 10 yards away from him. So once the ball left Josh's hand, that pass interference was still there. He was still making contact 5 yards down the field. Maybe it should have been a 5 yard penalty for illegal contact. But at the end of the day, rules are rules. He kept him on whilst the ball was actually in the air. It's the right call at the end of the day. So, yeah, it would be a case that I agree that agree and disagree that it was a makeup call. Scott Barge on Twitter. Do you know a good Valium supplier? Unfortunately not. No. If you do, if anyone does know, please let Scott know, and please let Liam Holmes know, who actually messaged in saying, if you see my arse anywhere, please let him know. I think we all speak for that, especially with the heartbeats and all of that. Ash K on Twitter and Liam Dixon on Facebook. What the heck is going on with the D? That's hard. Injuries played a part last week, possibly played a little bit of into the hands this week, but I think it's just the adjustment. They need to adjust early, especially coming out of that third quarter and all through the game. If the offense are actually putting up more numbers, then fine. You've got to adjust. You've got to stop that. But they're always in that fix. If it's not broken, don't fix it mantra. Maybe this is a time. Break it, fix it, adjust it. That's what you need to get through to actually to adjust. All good defenses know how to adjust to any situation. If they're running too more, you're going to play more running game. They're passing too much, you're going to try and find a way to actually nullify that. It's all up to how Leslie Frazier and McDermott actually do this. Chris Spencer on Facebook. How many times were you shouting at Josh to throw the ball away? And also, did you think we were looking at a repeat of the Texans game? First two quarters, maybe a bit of the third quarter, I was thinking, no. I wasn't thinking we're looking at a repeat of the Texans game. After that, oh, hell yeah, definitely. I mean, it's nerve-wracking just for me watching it and probably for everyone else knowing that the Rams came back from 25 points down to take the lead. But fourth quarter, Josh Allen came in and saved the day. I mean, how many times were you shouting at Josh to throw away the ball? I do it every time. Every time he gets close to being sacked, I just say, just throw away, chuck it down. Don't take the sack because it's going to cause issues. Luckily, on a few of them, we've converted. We got the yards back and managed to convert and carry on the drive. But you don't want to keep taking these coverage sacks and all these sacks. If it's a coverage sack, if the safeties and the cornerbacks have got everyone marked up, throw the ball away. You can do it. It won't lose it. You'll lose it down, but you won't lose yards. But hey, he'll learn. He came out after the game and said all these mistakes. He will learn and actually learn to address it. William Tyler, also from Facebook, is how come their quarterbacks had so much time, but Josh didn't? Offensive scheme and blockers. I mean, the Rams knew how to block. They were built for the run. So their run game was always strong. They know where their blockers are going to go. Ours, we seem to be going more pass than run. So it's just that communication, the scheme, and the blocking scheme that really lets the Bills down, and they possibly need to work on it. But we know that Josh can scramble where necessary. So yes, he hasn't got time. But then you see times where in the passing game, he can stand still. He can make a throw standing still. But hey, it's all you've got to face who you're in front of. You've got to face Aaron Donald. You've got to face Michael Brockers. You've got to face Leonard Floyd. It's going to be difficult, but Josh held himself well. Yes, a couple of those sacks, as I said in the previous comment, he should have chucked away. But what are you going to do now? It's all in the record books. It's a win. That's 3-0. And what we got? One more last question from Jason Wilkinson on Facebook. Thought there was a lot of wasted chances for Allen to run more. Yes, I agree somewhat with that. There were times where he escaped the pocket. he could run, made a few extra yards rather than flip it right in the fourth quarter when he ran and then did the lateral option to McKenzie. Should McKenzie caught it? Yeah. Josh could have slid as well, gained that extra yards, then used the timeout rather than going back to the original line of scrimmage. But this is what I like to see. I don't like to see Josh running all the time. If it's even designed runs, I like to see him do it in the end zone. But when you're midfield, no, don't do it. Leave it as it is. But hey ho, I don't care. The end of the day, on that score chart, it goes Buffalo Bills 3-0. Buffalo Bills beating the Los Angeles Rams. The end of the day, that's all that matters. So, really, a couple of stats to go on here, just to leave you just before we go. Josh Allen through 3 games, 81 of 114 passing, 71%, or 1,038 yards, 10 touchdowns, and that interception. He became the first Bill since Jim Kelly to record 3 straight 300 passing days. Kelly's streak began on this day in 1992. 28 years. Just shows how much we've actually been missing him. I mean, Josh made mistakes. He's over 70% passing. He's come out and said he will get better for the team, for the offense. It's good to see him actually progressing. The Gabe Davis pass interference, it was John Brown's route. Gabriel set up and executed it perfectly. I mean, you've got to love how impressive this actually this offense is, and really what the Bills can do. So for me and for Alex somewhere, probably on the road to New York, maybe on a plane, who knows? It's continue to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit subscribe. Continue following us on Facebook, Buffalo Bills UK. We've had a lot of new members and acceptances, which is great. Follow us on Twitter at UK_Bills. Follow the podcast, please. Follow the podcast at RWBB_podcast. Follow us on Instagram, UK_Bills. And for this time, until next time, until the review show of the Raiders, it's good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you for listening. Keep following, subscribing, showing the love. And for Alex, somewhere on the way to New York, me here, it's go Bills.
Now let's go. We'll make a run. No more. Bills on 3. 1, 2, 3. Bills!